All right. Well, thanks so much, Jim. I do appreciate you having me here. And reality is that we know that the connections we make are the people that are going to help us anywhere we go. If it's in business and personal life, it's the relationships that really make a difference. And when it comes from a business standpoint, which is so many people, especially in today's world, where, the world's kind of in a bit of an upheaval, but I know a lot of businesses that are doing really, really well. And the biggest reason for that is the connections that they have, the people that they have met, the people that they've built the relationships with for the long haul. And that's really what Meet Cool People is all about. I live my life with the fact of being able to connect with people, whether that be speaking from stage, whether that be meeting them at a conference, or even over a virtual chat kind of situation like we're doing so much in today's world, but building the relationship first, never hiding what we do, but not making it something that we have to shove down their throats, because that's where a lot of people tend to miss the boat, is that they end up going directly for the sale without building the relationship first. And so a couple of things I wanted to share more than anything else is a good way to communicate with people in not just your day-to-day, let's do business kind of standpoint, but a very simple, if you meet somebody, whether it be in a live event, a virtual event, maybe somebody even opted in for a freebie of yours, or maybe they watched your 6-minute webinar, send them a message and just say, hey, I just want to check in and see how you're doing. It really is that simple. And the fun thing about doing this is that by doing that, you set yourself apart from the other people that are out there for one very, very simple reason. You actually showed you cared. And I see a lot of people that, it's so funny because I've been doing this for years. I see people that reply back to me and they're like, is this really you? Because they're shocked. They're surprised that I would take the time to actually do that, because so many people don't. And I've actually had a client that worked with us that we actually did this with. She said she hadn't really followed up with any of her previous clients. I'm like, well, there's the first thing that you need to do. And so all we did was we crafted a series of emails. The fun thing about it was we put these together and we sent them out to her existing list of people. And the very first email we sent out, and all it was a, hey, I'm really sorry. I'm a slacker. I dropped the ball. I promised to do better. I want to check in with you and see how you're doing and see if there's anything I can do to help you out. And she literally had 100% response and closed over $12,000 worth of sales by the end of the week. Now, she wasn't selling anything. She didn't pitch anything. All she did was send him a message saying, I'm sorry I haven't stayed in touch with you. I want to check in and see how you're doing. That's all it was. The people responded so well to that they were like, you know what, actually, I needed to work with you. I needed to talk to you. So definitely, let's talk. And they ended up booking a call, and she ended up closing a whole bunch of sales. And I know that the numbers ranged on each project. So I'm going with the lowest amount. I know it was over 12,000, but that was the lowest amount based on the basic numbers we were looking at. And the fun thing about this is that we did that. She had such a great response. We didn't send the rest of the emails that were part of the series. Now, we pre-wrote these. We put these in his automated system because I love automation. But by having that heartfelt question, even though we're using technology to automate it and mass, get it out to more than just one person at a time, the heart is still there. The meaning is still there. The voice is still there. But by just sending that one message, not only did she bring back the relationships that she had dropped the ball on, but she closed a bunch of sales in the process. And I find it works so well. We have so many clients that we're doing this with that it's so much fun, and it's simple little things like this. So stop and think about, when was the last time you just stopped and reached out to a client of yours, nothing for sale, and just either you email them, maybe you text them, pick up the phone, message them on Facebook, whatever, doesn't matter what medium you use, but just message them and say, hey, I haven't heard from you for a while. I just want to check in and see how you're doing. As a matter of fact, just before this call, I actually did that with somebody. I haven't heard from him for probably about a month now. He's a client of mine. And I know he's moving, he's doing his thing, he's doing awesome stuff. But I hadn't actually seen or heard from him for a while, so I just wanted to check in. And all I did was I just opened up Facebook Messenger and just said, hey there, haven't seen you for a while, want to check in, see, make sure everything's still going okay. What you up to? and that's it. The cool thing about it is that when we work this way, we start thinking this way, our communication becomes better and it becomes more authentic. And we hear that word authentic a lot right now. It's really funny because it's been kind of bugging me in my head quite a bit lately, where there are actually people teaching how to be more authentic. My first thought is, if you're having to get a coach to be more authentic, you're probably doing it wrong. Because being authentic is just caring, just being you. And when you start being authentic with people, and being that authentic is basically like checking in on a friend, communicating with your clients like they're your friends, like you care about them, not only do you end up with more sales, but they trust you more because they know that it's not just about the dollar. And this is a really big thing. I have people that I consider even friends, but the only time I ever hear from them is when they want something from me. And sadly, it doesn't help the relationship. It doesn't help the trust. It's like, we've all, if you haven't ever had that friend, especially, back in the early days in college or high school or whatever, you had that friend, the only time you ever really heard anything is when they actually called you up and said, hey, could you help me out here? Maybe they needed some money for gas or whatever. When you have that kind of relationship with somebody, it isn't fully, doesn't really go where you want it to. It always feels like it's pushed and it's not quite a true friendship. And this is what happens with a lot of business, is that people look at the businesses that they work with or that they choose to give their money to as, I need to because I need that thing, but there's not necessarily any loyalty there. But if you switch the entire mind shift of how you present to them and how you, as the business that's doing business with them, as this isn't a business, this is me helping you out. You hired me to be your coach, or you hired me to be your consultant. I am here for you. Now that takes it from a corporate feel to a one-on-one feel, it's a personal feel. And that's where loyalty comes to play. I have a client who about 3 months ago messages me, and she was one of my old web design clients from years ago. And we're talking like 25 plus years ago. I don't remember the exact time, but it's over 25 years. And she actually messages me and says, hey there, I've actually partnered up with somebody else. And I did this a couple of years ago, but I decided I wanted to keep everything with you. But now they've got an in-house design team. They're taking care of all that kind of stuff. I think it's time that I just move my stuff over to merge over with them, since we've merged as a company anyway. And I stopped and I thought about that. It was very sad to lose her as a client. The reality is there was absolutely no reason why she should have stuck around with me. But you heard what I said. She had merged with them actually 3 years prior. She didn't come to me then with that. She waited 3 more years before she finally said, I really should just merge it all into one thing. Now, if she'd come to me 3 years earlier, I would have totally agreed with her. But that is what loyalty is. She had the loyalty to me and my company to stick around for 3 years longer than she really needed. I mean, if she had come to me, I would have been sad, but I would have totally understood, and I would have agreed to her that it was the right move. This is the kind of stuff you're talking about. This is the kind of stuff that we really want to focus on, is how we can build long-term loyal clients. So if this makes sense to you, I would love to chat with you. I truly do love meeting cool people. So if you want to connect with me, go to connectwithely.com. It is ELY, connectwithely, ELY.com. And you can connect with me on all the social media sites. Feel free to message me, connect with me there. And then also, if you would like to book a call just to chat with me, I mean, this is not a pitch. If the conversation leads to something that we might be able to help you with, I'm happy to have that conversation. But this is about getting to know you and seeing how can I be of service, because that's really what I want more than anything else. Just connect with me and let's see what we can do. because that's one of the best things about this is that by connecting, I have connections that might be able to help you out. You might have connections that might be able to help me out. And that's what meeting cool people is all about. It's how do you build that relationship to be of service of each other, knowing that when I need what you have, you are going to be the person that I talk to. And when you need what I have, I will be the person you talk to. The cool thing about this is that there's no forcefulness of selling. You know, the fun thing about sales is that most people hate sales, honestly. It's really kind of funny because we have this thing against it in our society. We don't like people to push a sale on us, but we love buying stuff, right? We know that. What if we made it not about the sale, but about being of service first and built the relationship first? If you did that, sales will just come naturally and you don't have to force it on people. Now, I love my business and I love being successful. I love making money. I have no problem with that because money gives us the tools to do all the other stuff that we can possibly do to help improve the world. But that doesn't mean that we have to have that quote unquote used salesman or used car salesman mentality. We don't have to have that attitude. We shouldn't have that feel. And that's the type of thing where sales has had such a bad reputation, where coming at a place of being of service and just connecting with people, staying in touch with them, and giving tips, tricks, and resources along the way to help them. You know, one of the easiest things that you can do for your prospects, your clients, even your friends, quite honestly, is just, you know, send an email once every couple of weeks. And it could be, like I said earlier, hey, I just want to check in and see how you're doing. Or maybe you could say, hey, I read this great book. I thought it was really awesome. Here's why I love it so much. Here's a link to Amazon. Check it out and let me know what you think. The fun thing about it is there's no sales, there's no pitch, but that brings you top of mind with that person. So they're going to always remember who you are. So I would love to connect with you. If there's anything that I can do to help you out, reach out, connect with me, go to connectwithely.com. Again, it is ELY. And if you want to even just chat, there's a spot you can just book on my calendar. You can find all my social media links, all that kind of fun stuff. With that, I thank you very much. Get out there, have an amazing, amazing day. And I look forward to talking to you soon.